it shows you to young girls, if you can see that it's possible, you're going to want to go and dream about it and work for it as well.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Women's Game. It feels impossible to talk about the Wrexham women's team without talking about today's guest, a player who feels like the spirit of this team just flows through her veins, Lili Jones. Lili captured the hearts of Welcome to Wrexham fans everywhere in seasons 2 and 3 of the hit Hulu show, but she is also a standout defender who famously scored what Ryan Reynolds called one of the best goals ever. Lili, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to chat. Before we get into the show, I just want to thank STōK Cold Brew Coffee for making this series possible. STōK is a staple in my fridge, especially the STōK Espresso Blend. STōK are also proud to support Wrexham AFC, the club that has taken the football world by storm in recent years. You can check out the full lineup of 48-ounce cold brew products. They have something for everyone, from light roast to decaf to seasonal favorites in a refrigerated multi-serve format. So be sure to follow Wrexham AFC. Thanks again to STōK. Okay, Lili, when we were doing our research for this interview, we couldn't help but notice that you speak Welsh. So we're going to do the rest of this interview in Welsh.
Let's go for it. Ideal. I mean, I would be very impressed if you could do that.
I know. Maybe you can teach me something at the end, but obviously I don't know Welsh. I just would love to hear a little bit about why it's important for you to learn this language and encourage others to do so as well.
My first language is Welsh. So we speak Welsh at home. Me and my brother still speak Welsh today.
Wow.
So I did all of my school through the medium of Welsh, primary school, high school, and then I'm studying it now at the moment as well. So I'm studying Welsh and journalism as a degree in uni as well. And I think I just kind of understood the power of the language. I was lucky enough to get flown out to LA for a St. David's Day event where Rob McElhenney sang the Welsh anthem. And I remember standing there thinking, wow, it's not a dying language anymore. For people to be speaking it on the other side of the world, that was something that really kind of hit home for me. And I think it was probably quite a big part in why I decided to go and study it at university as well. So yeah, it's a pretty cool language. I would urge anyone to get learning it if they can.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you just give us like a quick, hi, my name is Lili, go Wrexham?
Yeah, of course I can. Hi, my name is Lili, Corner Town.
Oh my God, I literally meant for you to do the whole thing in Welsh.
Oh! What? I was thinking, are we doing the intro now?
Oh my God, that was such a funny miscommunication. Wait, can you say all that again in Welsh?
Of course I can. Let's not cut out.
Literally, I think that was like so funny that we should keep it in.
All right, yeah, I could do that in Welsh. I was thinking this is a whole different subject here, but yeah, go on. Hiya, enw fi di Lili, i'r gad Wrexham.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Just another language, isn't it? It's mad when people say, like, it's amazing to me because it's just what I speak every day. I probably speak more Welsh than I do English, to be fair. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow. Well, I am just, like, so impressed. I took 3 years of French in high school, and, like, I literally don't know anything. So I think anybody who can speak multiple languages is absolutely incredible. You clearly have such a strong sense of where you come from, and in the docuseries, the show, we learned a lot about your relationship with your dad and how he not only got you into football, but specifically Wrexham football. What's your earliest memory of watching Wrexham?
I can see the floodlights from the racecourse from my house.
Wow.
So we live pretty much in the thick of it. And we just used to go to the games ever since I can remember, really. I think 5 or 6 years old, Dad had chucked me in a Wrexham shirt and we'd walk to the ground and pay on the gate. There was only probably 2,000-3,000 fans at the time. And we used to sit in the paddock watching the team play. I think the most vivid memory I have is we went to watch Wrexham play in London.
Yeah.
It was snowing, so we built an igloo in the back garden. There's a photo of us in Wrexham shirts outside an igloo in the back garden, ready to go and watch the town play, and we won on penalties, and that's just something that sticks with me, an away day with my dad as a young girl is something that sticks with me forever, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I always love hearing how much, the club is a part of people's families, not just in Wales, but in England and across Europe. I think that kind of dedication and commitment to your hometown team is something that is a little different here in America. And I just feel like for you, it specifically is such a part of your family and like those core memories as a family. I know that your dad also really wanted you to start playing when you were young. So at age 6, you started training with boys. You played for Wrexham's academy, but then when you were 12, you actually went to an open trial for Everton's youth team and you made it. And I listened to you tell a story about that, and I could just feel the confidence that you had in yourself coming out of you from age 12. Do you see yourself as a confident player in person, and where do you think that comes from?
Confidence is important in every aspect of life, isn't it? It's not always real confidence. Sometimes you've got to fake it till you make it, kind of thing. Especially in them trials, I remember thinking, there's 200 girls here, and you've got to do something different to stand out. And sometimes that's not the talent that you have on the pitch. It's sometimes your character and how you go about presenting yourself in different situations. So I think I was the loudest person on the pitch. I'm probably still true now. I'm definitely one of the louder ones. But I think that's a way of getting noticed as well. I stood out in a crowd of 200 girls because I wasn't shy. But yeah, that definitely comes from my dad as well. He would never shy away from a crowd, and I was kind of put into situations from a young age where I had to go and talk to new people and be around different people from different walks of life. And I think I'm grateful for that, because it's given me the confidence to go and talk to whoever I want and be comfortable in doing that as well. But yeah, I would say I'm a pretty confident person most of the time. I have my shy moments as well, though.
I love that the idea that you were bringing your personality to the field. I think that that's something that would inspire confidence in somebody, that ability to show up in a new place with a bunch of other people trying out and just go, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to stand out. I'm loud. I'm confident. I think that that's actually a really great takeaway from an experience like that. I know that you also started playing for England's Talent Pathway League, which allowed you to travel the world with your team and your dad. So you were playing for this big club team in this national program, which, especially for a teenager, must have felt so exciting. And I imagine that, for the football at that time, just getting to travel and getting to do all these cool things must have been amazing. And then I know in 2021, you were 16 years old and your dad took his own life. And after he passed away, it seems like it really was the Wrexham community who rallied around you and your family. You and your mom, I've heard you tell this story, drove through the city past Wrexham Historic Race Course where the team plays, and Gemma Owen, who's the head of Wrexham Women's Football, came out and gave your family a wreath. The sidewalks were packed with people who knew your dad. We've spoken to Gemma. We've had her on the show. We know what a wonderful person she is and how much she sees this club as a family. But for you, Lily, what did it feel to be really seen and supported by this club that meant so much to your dad in such a difficult moment for your family?
Yeah, I don't think I quite understood the power of the community here in Wrexham until that moment. I was still thinking that Everton is where I wanted to be. I was thinking, I could possibly have a career here. But yeah, COVID hit, and then what happened with my dad was horrendous. But I kind of knew then that I needed to be back home. I had even more of a reason to play for the badge. Anyone who plays for Wrexham will tell you they know the weight of that badge. But it carries a whole new meaning for me now. To drive past a racecourse with hundreds of people in Wrexham shirts, clapping my dad down Wald Road it gives me goosebumps thinking about it now. And the club meant so much to him, and to be able to keep that alive and keep his memory alive through keep on playing for the club, and it's really, really special to play for your hometown anyway, never mind with that extra little bit of love I have for it now. It's a dream come true to play for them, and every time I put that shirt on now, there's that extra little bit of motivation to go and do him proud and to do the club proud as well, because they've given so much to me. It feels like sometimes when I'm on the pitch, I'm giving a little bit back where I can. So yeah, it's really, really special place to be.
Do you think you can try to put into words what it is about Wrexham that meant so much to your dad?
It's a tough one, and he's probably the only one that could give you the real answer. But I do think it's the people. I spoke to a lot of Americans who have come over to see the town, and there's nothing special. It's a town with a few shops, the racecourse, the heart of it. Like many other places, there's a football stadium in a town. it's nothing special, but the people that run it and the people who are about is what makes Wrexham such a special place. I think, there's a real sense of community here. I remember walking through town when I was a young girl with my dad, and it would take us 2 hours because he'd be stopping and talking to everyone. And I think that is what makes it so special. He had so much time for everyone, and everyone had time for him as well. I do think it is the people that makes this place so, that kind of feeling that people can't explain. I do think it's the people that create that. And I'm very lucky to be part of it.
That's so beautiful. It makes me want to come to Wrexham. Lili, how do you think about mental health now? I feel that you get asked this question a lot. And do you feel a responsibility to talk about mental health, especially through the lens of sport and your family history?
Yeah, of course. I think it's a responsibility on all of us anyway. The women's game is such a growing sport. If anything I can say can offer some kind of insight or encouragement or help to anyone who's listening, that's something that I absolutely want to do. I don't think I can experience what I've experienced without speaking out about it. As time goes on, I actually find it harder because it's sinking in now. I've had the kind of bombardment of, oh, I'm sorry for your loss, or having to talk about it over and over again, and kind of that's died down now. So it's kind of letting myself letting all the emotions sink in, and actually thinking, wow, okay, I've actually lost my dad here, and it's important that I got to look after myself as well. Because I think during them kind of first few years as it happened, I was so focused on making sure I was keeping his memory alive and making sure that everyone around me was okay. I forgot about myself a little bit. I think it's so important that I keep talking about it and not kind of letting it take over me. Because it's a massive key part of my life, but it's also just a little part of me. I've got so much more I need to do. So it's learning how to kind of take all of that in and continue to do things in the right way. Sometimes I think that my dad was probably failed by the mental health system, and that makes me angry sometimes. But also, it's speaking out about things like that are going to make it different for other people going through the same thing. So, bringing light to situations like that is something that is massively important to me. Definitely, yeah.
Wow, Lili, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I feel so much for you in this moment. I think you pointing out, in the immediate aftermath, what you went through, and now the importance of continuing to take care of yourself as a few years have gone by. What are some things that you focus on for your own mental health? What are some tools that you have to take care of yourself?
I think it's taking a break sometimes. So I think that probably in the first few years, I just packed my time with whatever I could. I literally didn't stop for a minute. And I think before I went to university, I hit a bit of a crash out, like, wow, okay, I'm actually taking a big step in my life now, and that's something I've got to do without my dad. And that sunk in quite a bit for me. So I just kind of make sure now that, yeah, I've got a lot of things going on. So I'm playing football, I'm studying at university, I'm back and two in the car, ridiculous times a week. But it's kind of taking even an hour in a day just to sit down and relax. If it's sticking a documentary on or listen to music. I play guitar as well. That's a good way for me to kind of let my mind just think about what I'm doing rather than everything else that's going on. I just kind of like to take an hour a day, even if I can, to just have a breather and kind of get all my thoughts together and go again the next day.
That sounds amazing. I'm glad that you have have some healthy hobbies outside of football. Guitar sounds amazing. This is the last question about your dad, Lili, and then I want to talk more about like your playing. But I imagine that when you play in the Wrexham jersey with your name on the back, when you play at the STōK Racecourse, you feel his presence. His name is on a brick there at the stadium. And at all of your games, someone holds a flag with his name on it. Do you remember the first time you looked up into the stands and saw that?
I think the first time Mum brought the flag to a game was probably when we were playing we had like a memorial game. So this was while I was still playing for Everton. A few weeks following my dad passing, Wrexham got in touch and we did a memorial game. So the school girls, county girls that I used to play with, and it had been under 16s at the time. We all come together and we mixed together and we just played a big game on one of the pitches in Wrexham. And I remember Mum brought the flag to that game for the first time, and I remember thinking, yeah, this is definitely where I need to be. You know, all my family were there. My dad was there in spirit, and all the people that cared and loved the club, but also my dad we're all there, and I thought, yeah, you know, this is where I want to be. And I think that was a pivotal moment in me coming back to play for the town.
That's amazing. Again, Lily, thank you so much for sharing all of that. We heard some of this in the docuseries, but I'm so grateful that you were willing to open up with us here again. Another story that you were sharing in the docuseries was just kind of your life as day-to-day as a Wrexham player. We saw that you would literally go from working in a kitchen to winning trophies with Wrexham. And there was something that you said after Wrexham won the league in 2023 that last night you had been washing dishes and now you were here getting picked up by Wrexham team owners Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. It's like you were living a double life. We've talked a lot about mental health and taking a break, but how do you kind of balance even what you just alluded to, driving back and forth, going to uni, chasing your dreams, playing football? How are you managing all of that at once?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't sit here and say that I've got a secret to all that. But I think it's just being in love with what you do. I absolutely love playing for Wrexham, and there's nothing in the world that can change that. And also, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing at university at the moment as well. So that makes it definitely easier. You know, I'm doing things you love is so important. I don't think I'd be able to do it if it was something that I didn't enjoy doing. Don't get me wrong, that there's hard days and training days that frustrate me. And
I know.
You know, yeah, you know too well. And it's exhausting. It's really tiring. But when you're doing something you love, you'll just continue to do it because you know it's so rewarding. You know, I was at that time where I was doing the documentary. You know, it was humbling to wash dishes. You know, I'd work 6 hours through washing dishes the whole way through, and then I'd get kind of boosted up to the most ridiculous stage where I'm sat on top of an open top bus with Rob and Ryan. But it's you know, it's crazy stuff, but it helps me remember where I came from. You know, I think that's what's so important, and it's important to people at Wrexham as well. You know, we're all so proud to be from such a working class town that in the mix of all the glory and the excitement of where the club's going, it's so important that we remember where we're from. But yeah, it's remembering where you came from and remembering why you're doing it, I think, as well, is an important kind of thing to do when you've got so much going on.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned like the experience of, you know, filming the docuseries, working. I imagine that like the change in Wrexham, the change when Rob and Ryan kind of came and took over the club, has been so monumental and like such a, you know, sharp contrast to the way things were before. You're from Wrexham. How does it feel for you to kind of have witnessed this change and this transformation? And how does it feel for you to like be on camera sometimes?
It was a bit scary to start with. And I kind of thought, why Wrexham? You know, I think a lot like, why are people coming to see the town? You know, it's just where I grew up. And to me, like, it's special to me because I grew up here. Everyone's hometown is special to them because they grew up there. But to have so many different people loving it for the same reasons as me was something that I found quite hard to kind of comprehend to start with. Why would two Hollywood actors want to buy a little club in North Wales? People were sceptical about it as well. You know, we thought, is this a joke? Are they going to do it for a year and then kind of bin us off? But they just haven't put a step wrong, and they've done the town right in so many ways. It's been unbelievable to watch, to see how it's played out. And you know, from Wrexham in the National League to where we are now, and possibly being the first club in the English system to go back to back is just something that I just never ever thought would happen. It's been scary and nerve-wracking, but it's also been probably the most amazing few years of my life. And we've got a lot to thank them for. And continue to thank them for, because I don't think they're going anywhere soon either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been really, really exciting.
Yeah, I imagine that, I mean, along with, the docuseries and this more global recognition and having these Hollywood movie stars as the club owners, there was an added pressure. And I know that your team, the women's team, was just recently promoted to the top tier of Welsh women's football. Do you feel an added pressure to perform at a higher level, to win the league, to make it into that Champions League slot? Or do you still feel like everything that the club is doing is kind of a win in and of itself?
Of course, there's added pressure. There's more eyes on us now, and every team who come to play us, it's their World Cup final. No one wants to get beat by the Disney club. No one wants to get beat by them. We have probably 10 times the eyes on us, so that obviously comes with its negatives, but we wouldn't change that for the world. I think we probably overachieved last season, which put us in a position this season that we weren't the underdogs for the first time. We were expected to get top four, and we were expected to be challenging for the league. And I think possibly that pressure kind of got to us at the start of the season. We had quite a poor start, but we know what we're capable of. I think it's just bearing with us and letting us kind of settle into our spot in the Prem. And hopefully we'll start winning some silverware in the next few seasons. But yeah, it's definitely added pressure, but I think it's good pressure. I don't think it's anything that kind of is too much for us to take.
What do you think is the biggest difference on the field between playing in the league you were in before and now this top Premier League? Like, what has the team had to adjust to tactically, technically, physically on the field?
I think it's intensity more than anything else. Teams are fitter, they're more technical, they're just better in an all-round way. We've had to get stronger, we're in the gym, we've had to get fitter. We've had a new S&C coach in who's absolutely unreal. Zoe, she's brilliant, putting us through our paces. But it's also that tactical side as well. It's thinking about what you're doing on the pitch rather than just turning up on a Sunday and having a kick about and going on to win a game. There's so much more prep going into our matches. And it's definitely more physical as well. I started playing first team football at 16. I'm not sure I would have coped going straight into this league as a 16-year-old girl. Girls are strong. Yeah, it's definitely learning how to use your body and kind of keeping up with the intensity of the higher leagues. But I think we're doing that pretty all right. We're finding our feet now, so it's just continuing to do that.
Obviously, the docuseries and, just Wrexham as a club in general has really put a bigger spotlight on Welsh football. But also, for the first time ever, the Welsh women's national team has qualified for the Euros this summer. How do you imagine that all of this new attention and this accomplishment by the national team could change the state of Welsh women's football?
It's absolutely massive. Wales qualifying for the Euros is something I am so beyond proud of. I've got friends in that squad who they've worked so hard to get where they are. And there's no words to say how proud I am of that. There's nothing our little nation can't do. And it shows to young girls, if you can see that it's possible, you're going to want to go and dream about it and work for it as well. Yeah, just being able to see Welsh women go into Switzerland to play against the best of the best. Hopefully we'll start seeing girls turning up to sessions with Welsh women's players on the back rather than England ones now. It's massive for women's football in Wales, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So yeah, it's really exciting, really exciting.
I love to hear that. I agree. And I know I was influenced as I was about 7 in 1999 when the U.S. women's national team won the World Cup in America. And I think that event, more than anything, influenced my career path as a player and my dreams of wanting to be a player because, like you said, Lily, I literally saw it and I said, oh, this is something that I can do. Okay, I'm going to go and do it. And so I'm super excited for Wales to be in the Euros this summer. And I think, to your point, young kids in Wales will see that that's possible and see Welsh people playing at the highest level. Okay, Lily, I have one more question for you. we've talked about so many things, and getting to know you a little bit, I just imagine that you're really such an important member of this Wrexham team. You just strike me as somebody who would mean a lot to your teammates, who would do everything you could for the team. So I'm curious, when you think about legacy, when you think about the impact that you're having on Wrexham, how do you want people to think of you?
That's a big one. I just want to be remembered as someone who'd do anything for the badge. You know, I want to be remembered as someone who's left the shirt in a better place. You know, I think that's something that's important to me. You know, you take a shirt on from someone who's worked hard to get us where we are now, and to pick that up and take it as far as I can is something that I want to be remembered for. I think, you know, you're always remembered as the local girl playing. So that's something that's important to me as well. So yeah, it's hard to tell because I want to be at the club for many more years to come. So who knows what I'll be remembered for in a few years, hopefully. So yeah, I think my aim at the moment is to just keep doing what I can do on the pitch and hopefully stay in a Wrexham shirt for as long as I can. And who knows what I'll be remembered for in a few years' time. I might drop off, who knows? But we'll see. We'll see.
I doubt it. I getting to know you a little bit, I have so much faith in you. I truly, Lily, I loved chatting. I'm going to be cheering for you. And this was really so much fun. So thank you so much for being with us and for sharing so much.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good luck with the rest of your season.
Diolch yn fawr.